Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Rency and today we will continue our story. So let's we start. Um, the cauliflower robbery. Master, a gift for you. These six huge cauliflowers were planted with my hands. I have watched over their growth with the tender care of a mother nursing her child. I presented the basket of vegetables with a ceremonial flourish. Thank you. Shri Yukteswar's smile was warm and with appreciation. Please keep them in your room. I shall need them tomorrow for a special dinner. I had just arrived in Puri to spend my college summer vacations with my guru at his seaside hermitage, viewed my master and his disciples. The cheerful little two-story retreated fronts on the Bay of Bengal. I awoke early of the following morning, refreshed by the salty sea breeze and the quiet charm of ashram. My guru's melodious voice was calling. I took a look at my cherished cauliflowers and stowed them neatly under my bed. Come, let us go to the bay. Let us go to the beach. Master, lead the way. Several young disciplines and I followed in a secreted group. Our guru survived us in mild criticism. When our Western brothers walk, they usually take pride in unison. Now, please march in two rows. Keep rhythmic step with one another. Sri Yukteswar watched as we obeyed. He began to sing. Boys go to and fro. In a pretty little row, I could not but admire the ace with which master was able to match the brisk pace of his young students. Halt! My guru's eyes sought mine. Did you remember to lock the back door of the hermitage? I think so, sir. Sir, Shri Yukteswar was silent for a few minutes, a half suppressed smile on his lips. On no, you forgot, he said finally. Divine completions must not be made an excuse for material carelessness. You have neglected your duty in a safeguarding the ashram. You must be punished. I thought he was obscurely joking when he added, "Your six cauliflowers will soon be only five." We turned around at a master's orders and marched back until we were close to the hermitage. Uh, Rest a while, Mukunda. Look across the compound on your left. Observe the road beyond. A certain man will arrive there presently. He will be the means of your your catchment. I I conquered my vexations at the incomprehensible remarks. A peasant soon appeared on the road. He was dancing grotquely and flinging his arms about with meaningless gestures. Almost pleased with curiosity, I glued my eyes on the hilarious spectacle as the man reached a point in the road where he would vanish from our view. Shri Yukteswar said, "Now we will return. Now he will return." The peasants and at once changed his direction and made for the rear of the ashram. Crossing a sandy track, he entered the building by the back door I had left in unlocked. Even as my guru had said, the man emerged shortly, holding on my prized cauliflowers. He now stood. He now stood alone, respectably invested with the dignity of possession. The unfolding phrase, in which my role appeared to be that of that of a bewildered victim, was not so disconnecting that I failed in indignant indicate pursuit of the thief. I was halfway to the road when master called me back. He was shaking from head to foot with laughter. "That poor crazy man has been longing for a cauliflower," he explained between outbursts of mirth. I thought it would be a good idea if he got one of yours, so ill guarded. I dashed to my room, where I found that the thief, evidently one with vegetable flexions, had left untouched my gold rings, watch, and money, all laying opening on the blanket. He had crawled instant under the bed, where the basket of cauliflowers, completely hidden from casual sight, had yielded the objects of his single-hearted desire. I asked Mr. Yukteswar uh, that evening to explain the incident, which had, I thought, a few baffling features. My guru shook his head slowly. You will understand it someday. Science will soon discover a number of these hidden laws. When the wonders of radio burst some years later on an Austrian dead world, I remember Master's predictions. Age, age-old concept of time and space were annihilated. No person's home so narrow that London or Calcutta could not enter. The dualist intelligence angled before indisputable proof of one aspect of man's omnipresence. The plot of cauliflower comedy may be best understood by a radio analogy. My guru was a perfect human ratio. Thought are no more than very suitable vibrations moving in the either, just as a correctly tuned radio picks up a desired musical number out of thousands of the other programs from every direction. So Sri Yukteswars had been sensitively respective to a certain parentant thought that of the half-witted man who was hankering for a cauliflower, out of the countless thought of broadcasting human minds in the world during the walk toward the beach. No sooner had Master become aware of the patient's simple yearning than he was willing to gratify it. Sri Yukteswar's divine eyes had discovered the man dancing down the road before he had become visible to the disciples. My forgetfulness about locking the ashram door had given Master a convenient excuse to deprive me of one of my valued vegetables. After thus functioning as a receiving instrument, Sri Yukteswar then operated. Thought is powerful will as a broadcast or a sending instrument. In that role, he had successfully directed the patients to receivers and to reverse his step and go to a certain room for a single cauliflower. Uh, intuitions is a soul guidance appearing naturally in a man during those instances when his mind is calm. Nearly everyone has had the experiences of an inexplicably correct hunch, or has transferred his thoughts accuracy and active correctly the another person. The human mind, freed from the distributions or static of restlessness, is improved to perform all the functions of a complicated ratio mechanism, sending as well as receiving thoughts and tuning out underestimable ones. As the power of a radio broadcasting stations is regulated by the amount of electric current in can utilize. So the effectiveness of a human ratio depends on the degree of posed by each person. All thoughts vibrate internally in the cosmos. By deep concretions, a master is able to detect the thoughts of any man living or dead. Thoughts are universally and not individually rooted. A truth cannot be created, but only perceived. Any any erroneous thoughts of man is a result of an imperfections. large of small in his discernment. The goal of yoga science is to calm the mind. Without distortions, it may hear the infallible counsels of the inner voice. Radio and television have brought the instruments, sound, and the sight of remote persons to the fireside of millions. The first faint scientific uh, illuminations that man is all pervading spirit. Thought the ego, in most barbaric ways, conspires to enslave him. Man is not a body confined to a point in space, but is initially to omnipresent soul. Initially omnipresent soul. Very strange, very wonderful. Seemingly very improbable. Phenomena have, may yet appear which, when once established, will not astonish us more than we are now astonished at all the science has taught us during the last century. Charles Robert Rees, Nobel lecturer in psychology, has declared it is an assumed that that the the cinemona which we know accept without surprise do not excite our astonishment because they are understood. But this is not the case. If they do not surprise us, it is not because they are understood. They are understood. It is because they are familiar. For if that which is not understood out to surprise us, we should be surprised at everything. The fall of a stone thrown into the air, the acorn which becomes an oak, mercury which expands when it is heated, iron attracted by a magnet. The science of today is light matter, those amazing thrusts that our distance will discover are even now all around us, starting us in the eyes, so to speak, and yet we do not see them. But it is not enough to say that we do not see them. We do not wish to see them. For as soon as an unexpected unexpected and unfamiliar fact appears, we try to fit it into the framework of the commonplaces of expected knowledge and are indignant that anyone should dare to experiment future. A humorous occurrence took place a few days after I had been so impulsively robbed of a cauliflower. A certain Coriensis lamp could not be found. Having so lately witnessed my guru's uh, omniscient insight, I thought he would demonstrate that it was a child's play to find the lamp. Master perceived my expectations with exaggerated gravity. He questioned all ashram recents. A young discipline confessed that he had used the lamp to go to the well in the backyard. Shri Yukteswar gave solemn counsel, seek the lamp near the well. I rushed there, no lamp. Christian follower, I returned to my guru. He was now laughing heartily, without compunction for my disillusionments. So bad I couldn't direct to you to vanish the lamp. I am not a fountain teller with twinkling eyes, he added. I am not even a satisfactory share-called homeless. I realized that the master would never display his powers when challenged or for a triviality. De- uh, delightful, delightful weeks speed by. Sri Yukteswar was planning religious procession. He asked me to lead the disciplines across the town and beach of Puri. The festive day, the summer solstice, dawned in instant heat. Guruji, how can I take the barefooted students over the fairly sands? I asked despairingly. I will tell you a secret. Master said, the Lord shall send an umbrella for clouds. You all shall walk in comfort. I happily organized the processions Our group started from the ashram with a satsang banner, banner designed by Sri Yukteswar. It bore the symbol of the single eye, the telescoping gaze of inu- intuitions. Intuitions. No sooner had we left the hermitage than the sky became filled with clouds as thought by magic. To the accompaniment of the astonished ejaculations from all observed at light shower fill, calling the city street as the scorching seashore. The shooting drops descended during the 2 hours of the parade, the exact instant at which our group returned to the ashram. The cloud and rain disappeared. You see how God feels for us. Master replied after I had expressed my gratitude. The Lord responds to all and works of all. Just as He sent rain at my pela, so He fulfills any Sanskrit's desire to the devotee. Seldom do men realize how often God hears their prayers. He is not partial to a few, but listen to everyone who approaches Him trustfully. His children should ever have implicate faith in the loving kindness of their omnipresent Father. Sri Yukteswar's sponsored for a 4 yearly festival at the equinox and solstice when his students from gathered from far and near. The winter solstice celebration was held in a Serampur. The first one I attended left me with a permanent blessing. The festives started in the morning with a barefoot processions along the streets. The voice of 100 students rang out with sweet religious song. A few musicians played the flute and khol kartal, drummed and cymbals. Enthusiastic townspeople strewed the path with flower, glad to be summoned from a process task by our resounding praise of the Lord's blessed name. The long tour ended in the courtyard of the hermitage. There we installed our guru, while students on upper balconies showered us with marigold blossoms. Many guests went upstairs to receive a pudding of chana and oranges. I made my way to a group of brother disciplines who were savoring today as cook. Food for such large gatherings had to be cooked outdoors in huge cauldron. The improved wood burning brick stoves were smoky and tear-provoking, but we laughed merely at our work. Religious festival in India, religious festival in India are never considered troublesome. Each devotee gladly does his part, supplying money or rice and vegetable, or his personal services. Master was soon in our midst, supervising the details of the feast, busy every moment. He kept pace with the most energetic young student, Sanskrit and group chatting, accompanied by the harmonium and hand-beaten Indian drums. Was in progress on the second story. Sri Yukteswar listened appreciatively. His musical sense was actually perfect. They are off keys. Master left the cooks and joined the musician. The melody was heard again, this time correctly rendered. The Sama Veda contains the world's earliest writings on musical science. In India, music, painting, and the drama are considered divine arts. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. The internal trinity were the first musician. Shiva in his accept of Nataraj, the cosmic dancer, is spiritually respected as having worked out the infinite model and infinite modes of rhythms in the processes of universal creation, prescriptions and distractions, while Brahma and Vishnu accounted the time beat. Brahma cleaning the cyclone, and Vishnu sounding the the mridanga or holy drum. Saraswati, goddess of wisdom, is symbolized as performing on the veena, mother of all stringed instrument. Krishna, an incarnation of Vishnu, is shown in Hindu art with a flute. On it, he plays a interpreting song that recalls to their true home and the human souls wandering in Maya delusion. The foundation stones of Hindu music are regards or a fixed melodic scale. The six basic rags branch out in 126 derivative re- derivative reg- derivative ragins itself weaves and putras like a song. Each raga has a minimum of five notes: a leading note vadi or king, a secondary note samavadi or a prime minister, helping notes anuvadi, attendance, and a distortions note it's a vivadi, the enemy. Each of the six basic rags has a natural correspondence with the certain hour of the day, season of the year, and presidings dirty who bestows a particular potency. Thus the Hindul raga is heard only at dawn in this spring to evoke the mood of the universal love. Deepika raga is played during the evening in summer, the across is compassions. Megha rag is a melody float midly in the rainy season to someone courage. Bhairava rag is played in a morning of August, September, October to achieve a tranquility. Shri rag is reserved for a human twilight to attain a pure love. It's a Sri rag. And the last one is a Malkunosa. It's a Malkunosa rag is heard at a midnight in winter for a valuer. The ancient Rishi discovered these laws of sound alliances between nature and man. Because nature is an objectification of the primal sound of a vibrative world, man can obtain controller over all natural manifestations thought the use of certain mantras of chants. Historical documents tell of the remarkable powers of posed by Mian Tansin, 16th century court musician for Akbar and Akbar the Great, commanded by the emperor to sing a night rag while the sun was overhead. Tansin enacted a mantra that instantly caused the whole place's precincts to become involved in darkness. Indian music divides the octave into 22 surtis of or demi-semitones. These microncial intervals permit fine shades of musical expressions uh, unattainable by the Western chromatic scale of the 12 semitones. Each of the seven basic notes of the octave is occasioned in Hindu mythology with her color, and the natural cry of a bird of beast, do with green, and the peacock, re with red, and the scarlet mi with gold, and the goat it's a fa with yellowish white, and the heroine soul with black, and the night la with yellow, and the horse si with a combination of all colors, and the elephant. Indian music outlines 72 thoughts of scales A musician has a creative scope for endless improvisations around the fixed traditional melody of rag. He concretes on the on the on the on the sentiments of or definitive mood of of the structural theme and embodies it to the limits of his own originality. The Hindu musician does not read set notes, at each playing the clothes anew the bare skeleton of the rag, often confining himself to a single methodologic sequences, stressing by repetitions all its stubable, macrontial and rhythmic vibrations. Batch among Western composers understood the charm and power of repetitious sound, slight differential in a hundred complex ways. Sanskrit literature described a 120 tals or a time measures. The traditional founder of Hindu music, Bharat, is said to have isolated 32 kinds of a tala in the song of lark. The origin of tala or rhythm is rooted in human movements. The double time of walking and the triple time of reprivations. It's a respirations in sleep when inhalations is twice the length of exhalations. Indian has long recognized the human voice as the most perfect and the most perfect instrument of sound. Hindu music therefore largely confines itself to the voice range of 3 octaves. For the same reason, melody relation of successive notes is stressed rather than harmony relation of simultaneous notes. Hindu music is a subjective, spiritual and individualistic art aiming not at a symphonic brilliances but at a personal harmony with the oversoul. All the celebrated songs of the Indian have been composed by devotee of the divine. The Sanskrit word for musician is a Bhagavatar, he who sings the praises of God. The Sanskritans or the Sanskritans or musical gatherings are an effective form of yoga or spiritual discipline, necessitating instant concretions abstracts in the seed thoughts and sound, because man himself is an expression of the creative word. Sound exercise on him a potent and immediate effect. Great religious music or East and West bestows joy on man because it causes a temporary vibration awakening of one of his acutely spinal centers. In those blissful moments, a deep memory comes to him of his divine origin. The Sanskritan issuing from Sri Yukteswar's second story sitting room on the day of the festival was inspiring to the cooks. Aimed the steaming post. My brother disciplines and I jealousy, the refrains beating time with our hands. By sunset, we had served our hundreds of visitors with a khichuri. It's a rice and lentils. It's our khichdi. Vegetables curry and rice pudding. We laid cotton blankets over the over the courtyard. Soon as assemblaged was squatting under the sentry vault, quaintly attentive to the wisdom pouring from Sri Yukteswar's lips. His public speeches emphasized the value of Kriya Yoga and a life of self-respect, calmness, determination, simple diet and regular exercise. A group of very young disciples then changed a few scaled hymns. The meeting concluded with a fervent Sanskritan from 10 o'clock until midnight. Ashram Ashram residents washed pots and pans and cleared the counter and cleared the courtyard. My guru called me to his side. I am pleased over your cheerful labors today and during the past week of a preparation. I want you with me. I want you with me. You may sleep in my bed tonight. This was a privilege I had never thought would fall to my lot. We sat a while in a state of instant diving tranquility. About 10 minutes after we had lain down to sleep, Master rose and began to dress. What is the matter, sir? The joy of sleeping beside my guru was suddenly tinged with unreality. I think that a few students who missed their proper train connections will be here soon. Let us have some food ready. Guruji, no one would come at 1 o'clock in the morning. Stay in bed. You have been working very hard, but I am going to cook. At Sri Yukteswar's resolved tone, I jumped up and followed him to the small daily use kitchen adjacent to the second floor inner balcony. Rice and dal were soon boiling. My guru slimmed efficiently. Tonight you have conquered fatigue and fear of hard work. You shall never be bothered by them in the future. As he uttered these words of lifelong blessing, footsteps sounded in the counter in the courtyard. I ran downstairs and admitted a group of students. Dear brother, one man said, how reluctant we are to distributed master at this hour. We made a mistake about train schedules, but felt we could not return home without a glimpse of our guru. He has been expecting you and is even now preparing your food. Sri Yukteswar's welcoming voice rang out. I led the astonished visitors to the kitchen. Master turned to me with a twinkling eyes. Now that you have finished comparing notes, no doubt, you are satisfied that our guest really did miss their train. I followed him to his bedroom a half hour day, anticipating happily the honor of sleeping beside a godlike guru, outwitting the stars. Mukunda, why don't you get an astrological amulet? Should I, master? I don't believe in astrology. It is not a question of belief. The scientific attitude one should take on any subject is whatever it is true. The law of gravitation worked as efficiently before Newton as after him. The cosmos would be fairly chaotic if its laws could not operate without the sensations of human belief. Uh, characterless have brought the ancient stellar science to its present disappear. Astrology is too vast, both mathematically and psychologically, to be rightly grasped except by man of profound understanding. If ignoramuses misread the heavens and see their scroll instead of a script, that is to expected in his imperfect world. One should not dismiss the wisdom with the wise. From astronomical references in ancient Hindu literatures, scholars have been able to ascertain the dates of the authors. The scientific knowledge of the rishis was very great. In the Kaushitaki Brahmans, we find precise astronomical passage in indicating then that in 3100 BC, the Hindus were far advanced in astronomy. which had a practical and value in determining the acupuncture times of astrological ceremonies. An article by Taramata is East West February 1934 says of the Jyotish or body of Vedic astronomical expositions in contains the and scientific lore that kept India at the forefront of all ancient nations and made her the Mecca of seekers are knowledgeable. All parts of certain are linked together and interchanges their influences. The balanced rhythm of the universe is rooted in a reciprocity. My Guru continued, man in his human aspect has to combat two set of forces. First, the tumults within his being caused by the admixture of earth, water, fire, air, and ethereal elements. Second one is the outer distant, disintegrating powers of nature. So long as man struggles with his morality, he is officiated by the myriad mutations of heaven and earth. Astrology is the study of man's response to planetary stimuli. The stars have no benevolences or animosity. They merely send forth positive and negative radiations of themselves. These do not help or harm humanity, but offer a lawful channel for the outward operations or casual effect equilibrium that each man has set into motion in the past. A child is born on that day, and at the hours when the celestial rays are in mathematical harmony with his individual karma. His horoscope is a challenging portrait revealing his unalterable past and its probable future results. But the natal charts can be rightly interpreted only by men of intuitive wisdom. These are five. The message boldly blazoned across the heavens at the moment of birth is not meant to emphasize fate, the result of past good and evil, but to erudition man's will to expect from his universal thelldom what he has done he can undo. None other than himself was the instigator of the causes of whatever effects are now prevalent in his life. He can overcome any limitations because he created it by his own action in the first place, and because he possesses spiritual resources that are not subject to planetary pressures. Super super situations away of astrological makes one, and automation salvity depends on mechanical guidance. The wise man defeats his planets, which is to say his past, by transforming his allegiance from the creation to the creator. The more he realizes his unity with a spirit, the less he can be dominated by matter. The soul is ever free. It is deathless because breathless. It cannot be it cannot be regiment by stars. Man is a soul and has a body. When he properly placed his sense of identity, he leaves behind all conclusive patterns. So long as he remains confused in his ordinary state of spiritual amnesia, he will know the stable features of environmental law. God is harmony. The devotee was attuned to himself, will never perform any action aims. His activities will be correctly and naturally timed to accord with astrological law. After deep prayers and meditation, he is in touch with his divine consciousness. There is no greater power than that inward protections. Then, dear master, why do you want to me wear an astrological bangles? I ventured this question after a long silence. I had tried to assimilate Sri Yukteswar's noble expositions, uh, which, which contain thoughts very new to me. It is only when a traveler has reached his goal that he is justified in discarding his map. During the journey, he takes advantage of any shortcuts. The ancient rishis discovered many ways to curtail the period of man's excline in a delusion. There are certain mechanical features in the law of karma that can be skillfully adjusted by the fingers of wisdom. All human ills arise from some transgressions of universal law. The spirituals point out that man must satisfy the law of nature while not discrediting the divine omnipotence. He should say, Lord, I trust in thee, and no, thou canst help me, but I too will do my best to undo any wrong I have done. By a number of means, by prayers, by willpower, by yoga meditation, and by consultation with Sant, by use of astrological bangles, the adverse effects of past wrongs can be minimized or nullified. Just as a house may be fitted with a copper rod to absorb the shock of a lightning, so the bodily temple can be protected in the certain way. Electrical and magnetical reductions are occasionally circulating in the universal. They affect man's body for a good and ill. Ages ago, our rishis pondered the problem of combating the adverse efforts or subtle cosmic influences. These sons discovered that pure mantles aimed as an astral lights with a powerly conjunctive to negative pulse of the planets. Certain plants combinations were also found to be helpful. Most efficient of all are faultless dwellers or of not less than two cartless. The practical preventive use of astrological have seldom been seriously studied outside of India. One little known fact is that the proper jewelers, metals, and plants preparations are valueless unless the required weight is secured and unless the remedial agent is a one next to the skin. Sir, of course, I shall take your advice and get a bangle. I am intrigued at the thought of outwitting a planet. For a general purpose, I counsel the use of an armlet made of gold, silver, and copper. But for a specific purpose, I want you to get one of silver and lead, Sri Yukteswar, silver and lead, Sri Yukteswar's added a careful direction. Guruji, what a specific purpose do you mean? The stars are about to take unfriendly interest in you, Mukunda. Fear not. You shall be protected. And protected in about a month. Your liver will cause you much trouble. The illness is scheduled to last for 6 months, but your use of an astrological armlet will shorten the period of 24 days. I sought out a jeweler the next day. was soon wearing the bangle. My health was excellent. Master's predictions, master predictions slipped from my mind. He left Serampore to visit Banaras. 13 days after our conversation, I felt a sudden pain in the region of my liver. The following weeks were a nightmare of excruciating pain. Reluctant to disturb my guru, I thought I would bravely endure my trial alone. But 23 days of torture weekend, my resolutions and my resolution, I entered for Banaras. There Sri Yukteswar greeted me with unusual warmth, but gave me no opportunity to tell him my woes in private. Many devotees visited Master that day just for a darshan. Ill and neglected, I sat in a corner. It was not until after the evening meal that all guests had departed. My guru summoned me to the octagonal balcony of the hour. You must have come about your life dissolers. Sri Yukteswar's gaze was agitated. He walked to and fro occasionally uh, intercrypting the moonlight. Let me see, you have been alien for 24 days, haven't you? Yes, sir. Please do this stomach exercise I taught you. If you know the extent of my suffering, master, you would not ask me to exercise. Nevertheless, I made a feeble attempt to obey him. You say you have a pain. I say you have none. How can such contradictions exist? My guru looked at me inquiringly. I was dazed and then overcome with joyful relief. No longer could I feel the continuous torment that had kept me nearly sleepless for weeks. At Sri Yukteswar's words, the agony vanished at tough it had never been. I started to kneel at his feet in gratitude, but he quickly prevented me. Don't be childish. Get up and enjoy the beauty of the moon over the Gangas. But Master's eyes were twinkling happily as I stood in silence beside him. I understood by his attitude that he wanted me to feel that not be, but but God had been the hellier. I wear even now the heavy silver and lead bangle, a uh, a memento of that day, long past ever cheerized, when I found knew that I was living with a personing Indian superhuman on later occasions when I bought my friend. So Sri Yukteswar for healing, he invariably recommended jewels or the bangle, extolling their use as an act of astrological wisdom. I had been prejudiced against astrology from my childhood, partly because I observed that many people are sequentially attached to it, and partly because of predictions made by our family astrologer. You will marry their time 3 times, being twice a widow over. I brooded over the matter, feeling like a goat awaiting stepflings. Become before the template or a triple momentary matrimony, you may as well be resigned to your fate. My brother Ananta had remarked, your written horoscope has correctly stated that you would fly from home toward in the Himalayas during your early years, but would be forcibly returned. The forecast of your marriages is also bounded to be true. A clear intuition came to me one night that prophecy was wholly false. I set fire to the horoscope stole, placing the ashes in a paper bag on which I wrote, Seeds of past karma cannot germinate if they are roasted in the fires of divine wisdom. I put the bag in a constitution spot. Ananta immediately read my defined comments. You cannot destroy trust. You cannot destroy truth as easily as you have burnt this paper scroll. My brother laughed scornfully. It is a fact that on 3 occasions before I reached manhood, my family tried to arrange my betrothal. Each time I refused to fall in with the plans, knowing that my love for God was more overwhelming than any astrological prescription from the past. The deeper the self realization of a man, the more he influences the whole universal by his stable spiritual vibrations, and the less he himself is affected by the ceremonial flux. These words of master often these words of the master omen and the less of himself affected by. Occasionally, I told astrologers to select my worst periods according to planetary indication indicate indications, and I would still accomplish whatever task I set myself. It is true that my success at such times has been preceded by extraordinary difficulties, but my convictions has always been justified. Faith in divine protections and right use of man's God-given will are a force more formidable than our influences flowing from the heavens. The inscriptions at one's breath, I came to understand, is not that man is a puppet of his past. Its message is rather a prod to pride. The very heavens seek to arouse his man's determinations to be free from every elimination. God created each man as a soul towards with individuality, hence essential to the universal structure. Whatever is the temporary role of a pillar or a parasite, his freedom is a final and immediate. If he so wills, it depends not to outer but inner victorious. Sri Yukteswar discovered the mathematical application of 24,000 year equential cycle to our present age. The cycle is divided into an ascending ARC and a descending ARC, each of 12,000 years. Within each ARC fall 4 yugas and ages, called Kali, the Dwarpara, Treta, called Kali, Dwapar, Treta, and a Satya, corresponding to the Greek ideas of iron, bronze, silver, and golden ages. My guru determined by various calculations that the last Kali Yuga or Iron Age of the ascending ARC started about 500. The Iron Age, it's a 12,000 years in duration. In a span of materialism, it ended about 17,000. That year used here in Dwapar Yuga, 24,000 year period of electrical and atomic energy developments. The age of telegraphy, radio, airplanes, and other space, any helicopters. The 36,000 years period of Treta Yuga will start in 400 in it's 401. The age will be marked by common knowledge of telepathic communication and other time annihilators. During during the 48,000 years of Satya Yuga, final age in ascending ARC, the intelligence of man will be highly developed. He will work in harmony with the divine plane. A descending ARC of 12,000 years, starting with a descending the golden age of 400, it's a 48,000. It's a 48,000 years. The beings for the world, man gradually sinks into ignorance. These cycles are the internal rounds of Maya. The contrast as relativeness of the ceremonial universe, man one by one escaped from a creation prison of duality, as they awakeness to consciousness of their inseparable diving in unity with the Creator. Master analyzed my understanding not only of astrology, but of the world's spirituals. Placing the holy text on the spotless table of his mind, he was able to dissect them with the scalpel of intuitive reasoning, and to separate errors and interpolations of scholars from the truths as organically and originally expressed by the prophets. Fix one's vision on the end of the nose. These incurated interpretations of Bhagavad Gita stanza, widely expected by Eastern Pandit and Western translations, used to Arius Master's drolls criticism. The path of a yogi is a singular enough as it is. He remarked why consules him that he must always make himself a cross-eyed. The true meaning of a nashigrams is origin of the nose, not end of the nose. The nose originates at the point between the eyebrows and the seat of spiritual vision. On Sankhya, Approchium reads Ishwar Ashits. It's a lord of creation cannot be dissuaded. A god is not proud. Cheerfully on the basics of these sentences, most scholars call the whole philosophy astrological. The Hindu scriptures declare that an earth such as our is dissolved for one of two reasons. The inhabitants as a whole become either completely good or completely evil. The world mind thus generated a power that realizes the captive atmos held together as an earth. Dire pronouncement are occasionally published regarding as imminent end of the world. Planetary cycles, however, proceed according to an ordinary divine plan. To no earthly dissolutions is in sight. Many ascending and descending equations cycles are yet in store for our planet in its present form. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thin ice is single, the whole body also is full of light. But when thin ice is evil, the body also is full of darkness. Take heed therefore that the light which is in the deep be not darkness. One of the 6 systems of Hindu's philosophy, Sankhya teaches final emancipations through knowledge of 25 principles, starting with Prakriti of nature and ending with with a Purusha of soul. The cycle are expounded in the first part of Sri Yukteswar's book, The Holy Science. The Holy Science. The Hindu scriptures place of the present world age as occurring within the Kali Yuga of a much longer universal cycle than the simple 24,000 years equential cycle with which Sri Yukteswar was conceived. The universal cycle of spirituals is lots of years in extent and measures out a day of creation. These West figures is based on the relationship between the length of the solar year and a multiple of pi. The lifespan for a whole universal according to the ancient of streets. Thank you.